From the biggest moments.
Can you believe it?
To gold medal championships.
Sidney Crosby, the golden goal!
It's your update on Canada's game. You're listening to the True North Ice Podcast with Jacob Ewing and Caleb Schneider. Welcome to the True North Ice Podcast, where we talk all things Hockey Canada and everything Canadian hockey related. As always, we're your host. My name is Jacob Ewing, joined alongside Caleb Schneider. Caleb, normally we're recording at 11 p.m., but it is currently 11 a.m. Look at that flip of the schedule, man. It's for good reason. It's because the U18s are on in the morning, so we got to be up early and going to watch this U18 action. That will be a big topic in today's episode. But of course, before we dive deep into that, how are you doing today, my good friend?
Doing well. I'm excited for this episode. As much as I love the U18s, and we'll get to some men's worlds, I'm excited to talk a little bit of PWHL as that regular season wraps up this weekend, and there's potentially a massive game on Saturday, so I'm excited to talk about that. And then obviously the NHL Playoffs. That's been the thing that's been on every night, basically. Flipping through the channels. Sometime last night had a little bit of P-Dub on, but it's been late nights watching this stuff, but it's been fun, so I'm excited to talk about pretty much everything. How are you doing yourself after a big Carolina Hurricanes double overtime win last night or 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago. Yeah, that was, I'm going to say yesterday was very, that night was very emotional draining, and I think it carried over into yesterday. Like, I wasn't tired, but I for sure was strained, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, because, that was a whirlwind of a game on Monday night it was. So that game was just, it was emotional draining. That's how I like to describe it. I ended up punching the wall. There was no hole in the wall, but I did punch the wall. I was pretty upset. Okay. But hey, that's what hockey's all about, right? If you're not invested, why watch? But hey, the playoffs other than that have been fantastic. I agree. Last night I was actually at a Buffalo Sabres watch party with one of my friends.
It's a tough night to go to a watch party.
There was a Bruins fan. There was a Bruins fan. You had a Buffalo fan. You even had a Montreal fan because we had both games on double TV. Lightning Habs, which was another great game in overtime. I'm sure we'll touch on that today. But then that Bruins and that Buffalo team can't score unless there's 6 minutes left in the third period. But this time a little bit too late to make a comeback happen. And then obviously you had the late night games, the Vegas-Utah game. That's going to be a really good series. I think Utah has kind of emerged as, honestly, they're playing better than I expected them to play, and they look dangerous going back home to Utah. And then, it's been great hockey. So can't complain whatsoever.
The Kings won.
I know.
Granted, it was an overtime. Overtime
I forgot
beast.
about that one, yes.
Like, I stayed up and watched. Like I've been staying up and watching every game, but like I was a little pissed off that it went to OT because I watched pretty much the whole game. Well, I had both TVs on, but like I watched that whole third period. The glass breaks, the regulate, like it ended so late, and then it went to overtime. Like, but I stuck through it and watched Nick Waugh, Leafs legend, score on Scott Laughton. Actually, Scott Laughton kind of blew it and lost his positioning, and Nick Waugh walks in and scores. So that's a fun little Leafs thing there. But no, the playoffs have been great other than that Kings-Avs series. Like, it's been, you thought it would just be the Avs pummeling, but in the end it's just the Kings boring it down, which they've been doing for the past half decade. So yeah, but we'll get to. Yeah, go ahead.
Question, I was going to say, Nick Waugh scored the game winner, but then the Kings win 2-1?
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
Does it Nick Waugh like Colorado Avalanche?
Oh, who did I say? Wait, did the Avs win? Oh, wait.
No, I thought the Kings won. No. Yeah.
I don't remember now.
I
maybe
watched
Nick,
that game
maybe
too.
he scored the. I don't know now. What am I thinking?
No, Gabriel Landeskog scored the goal for.
Oh, so maybe it was Nick Waugh with the assist. That's probably what I got.
I think
wrong.
it was Marty Necas. Marty Necas tossed it across the crease.
Well, then what the fudge was I thinking? No, Nick Waugh has a goal.
In last night's game?
Yeah. Okay, well, it was late. We can figure this out. I can figure this out.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Listen, I remember.
Nick Waugh scores the OT winner. Yeah, okay. I'm not tripping. It was him. Landeskog tied it late.
Okay, so Colorado won.
Yes, so I did screw that up.
Okay,
my bad. I don't know why.
Dude, my head's in a scramble too. I remember.
I didn't really process it. Sorry.
No, I didn't process it either. So basically, it was 1:30 our time, Eastern time, when it happened. And I was laying in bed because I didn't want to go to overtime either. I watched the third period; it was good, but I was slowly starting to fade away during that overtime. And so I had my phone and I just laid it down. And I was just listening to it, and I remember, it's scores. Look up, process.
I don't know what
scores. Shut it off.
That's exactly what I did. Yes,
yeah,
I immediately turned it. I immediately turned it off. I did have my laptop open. I was slowly working on some notes for today and watching it at the same time. I immediately close the laptop, get up, turn off the TV, all that. I set up a little bit for today just so I don't have to do as much when I wake up. And yeah, I totally forgot. I knew the OT winner. I just got the wrong team. That's rough. That's a bad look. That's probably worse than thinking Kaprizov is on the Stars and mixed match like the other episode we did a week ago. But oh well. We'll get to NHL probably at the end. Kind of do the same structure as our news and notes episodes that we usually do. Like I said, PWHL, then Worlds. But we'll start with the U18s. There's a little bit more news that has came out. Captains just came out, and they are playing. Basically, they're playing just after we're done recording, so we won't have a recap of the first game. It's against Slovakia, so it should be pretty interesting. We'll see. I don't know if you've seen lines yet, or Canada. I'm very curious who's not going to play, because they're not going to register everyone. Oh, we got lines right now. 1 minute ago. Look at that. Let's see. Ty Lawrence with Dima Zhilkin. It's Zhilkin, by the way. Shout out Gordon Miller at the U17s. Nice. And Maddox, I get Zhilkin, but I don't remember Maddox. Maddox Dagenet? Dagenet, thank you.
I think it is.
That's the first line. Dima Zhilkin got an A, and he's an underager, too. Fun fact.
Yeah, he's the captain. I went off on him last episode. He's the captain of Saginaw. It's like it should be no question if he gets an A on his jersey. So,
Kian Verhoff is paired up with Ben Macbeth, so he was a late addition, I believe. Verhoff gets the C, by the way. So that's the first line and pairing. Gavin Betts, our boy, is starting. Shout out. Nothing too interesting here. Alexei Joseph is a 2C. Oh, wow, that second line might be better than the first line. Valentini, Joseph, Preston on the second line. And then Diorio. Diorio is on the fourth line. That's interesting. He was on the third line last year, so he gets bumped down. They only had they're starting the whole bunch. They're doing 13 and 7, which is actually quite interesting. Which means those guys are all registered and there'll be less spots to add. But the roster is official as of yesterday. I totally do not have who they added on the roster, but they made some cuts as well. Let's see if I can find it, unless you have it in front of you. Holy frickin'.
No.
There was a few cuts. Let's see here. Where Scott Wheeler, holy frick.
Oh, yes. Caleb Mitchell was one of them.
Yes, thank you.
You had the big one, Caleb, your guy that you mentioned.
I know, yeah.
Watch last episode.
That was tough. Yes, Brock Englund, my boy. Yes. I thought he would be fun to watch, but clearly not fun enough.
Clearly, Team Canada doesn't want to watch him. So,
Caleb Mitchell, Zach Lansard, Brock Englund, Yako Wisik, I believe is his name, and then
Wyzak maybe.
Wyzak, yeah, I think he's supposed to be like at least in the second or third round this year, I believe.
His name is being thrown around over the last year about where he'll go, and that's a recognizable name on this roster, which not all these names are going into this tournament for us. But interesting.
So those guys are cut. They added a couple players, which I can't find, that Scott Wheeler mentioned. So there was only a couple. Oh, here we go. Cone Eshkowogan.
Oh,
Thomas Vanderberg.
Eshkowogan.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't get that.
Eshkowogan of the Ottawa 67s.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, that's a fun name. Shout out the PXP guy in Ottawa. He's a legend, first of all. I feel bad.
I was listening to him the other day.
He's very recognizable boys they have out there in Ottawa. Yeah, it's Eshkowogan. That's how you say it. I'm actually excited to watch him. He had a great year in Ottawa. So
yeah. I was gonna say, it's good that you mentioned that he's a reckonable multiple voice because the one day I was listening the game 1 of the Sens, which was game 6 for Barrie 6-7s. I was listening to the radio for a little bit because I couldn't watch. I was in the car, and then later when I was back in the car, the first thing that popped up was TSN 1200, and that they're playing the 6-7s game, which I was surprised that they would run that on TSN. But shout out him, and then Callan Croskery also added to the U18s. So yeah, that's the other 3, I guess. Since they're on the team pretty much officially, they're not going to get cut. I don't know if any of them are playing on the bottom pairs of these lines, but they still got to make cuts. They officially announced their 25-man roster. Not everyone is registered, like I said. We'll see who isn't registered. Oh, Jackson Jacobson isn't registered.
Yes,
Cameron
I saw
Sheridan
that.
and Patrick Dayane, who is a goalie. So
Okay. Any of those late additions in the lineup here today?
that's what I'm trying to figure out right
Just be
now.
interesting
I got to
just
go
to find
between
out.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all this stuff came out right when we're recording. Just
How
unfortunate.
they're implemented into the roster, right? If they
Yeah.
are
Oh, here we go.
without any practice under their belt with this group of guys, you can obviously like these guys are coming off of their CHL seasons or wherever they're playing
Yeah,
at the time, so they're playing hockey. So they're in game mode, but it's more
Yeah.
or less the meshing of the lines, right? So
Yeah, so Callum Croskery is in. He's on the second pair with Ryan Lynn. And Thomas Vandenberg is a 3C.
Okay.
And your boy Eshkowash, whatever.
Eshkok again, yeah.
Eshkok again is a third pairing with Lucas Ambrosio. I don't know.
Hey,
So, there
Vandenberg,
you have
Vandenberg and Eshkok, and both Ottawa 67s guys. So that's another team that got eliminated that you just take additions from, right? That's a younger team too. So
Did you see, by the way, it's a little off topic, did you see Elite Prospects draft rankings that came out yesterday?
I did. Do you want to talk about where they had the captain?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Okay.
I didn't see the whole list because I don't pay for Elite Prospects, and I only saw somebody screenshot 7 to 12 or something like that. How the frick, and I haven't read it, so I can't really argue with them because I'm not going to pay, but how the frick is Keaton Verhoff 11?
Man, you know what? I saw this on an Instagram post actually, where they posted all 100, but it was like 10 by 10 on the slides.
Yeah.
And so you got to think when you see the opening slide and they still list the first 10 and there's no Keaton Verhoff on there.
Yeah.
Man, that's all you need to know about this list. Yeah, man. I was scrolling through the comments too, and people were saying,
do you have the top 10?
I might be able. I was just scrolling on Instagram when I found it. I can see what I can find though.
It's fine.
While I talk. Well, no, I think it'd be cool talking. Something to kind of.
I just don't have it. I was just very curious. I came across that last night that they have them 11, and it's like I'm pretty sure it's their like big one where they have literally everyone.
Oh yeah.
Input like they have people like Elite Prospects has people covering like regional NCAA tournaments. Who
I found it.
Really in the end there's only a couple prospects in each of those things, and they're all putting their input in. So like I don't know how much we want to take note of this because. Like how legit we really think about it, because some of these guys probably haven't watched enough Keaton Verhoff or other way around. They haven't watched enough CHL guys, Swedish guys, right? So
yeah. Okay, I have it. I have it right here. Here I'll do the first 11 just because.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. McKenna's 1, Stenberg 2, Chase Reed 3, Carson Carls, Kale Malhotra, Xavier Villeneuve is 6. So it jumps up that high. Ethan Belchez 7, Viggo Bjork 8, Albert Smits 9th, Daxon Rudolph 10th, and Keaton Verhoff number 11.
So they have Rudolph and Lynn over Verhoff.
No Lynn. I didn't say Lynn, but they have Villeneuve, Carls, Reed, Smits.
Smits.
Rudolph.
Yeah,
He'd be Verhoff. Caleb would be the fifth defenseman off the board,
where he might be first. I think he should be second, but
yeah.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And now all of a sudden, if he drops below the top 5, I already will like him more just because that's a crazy fall off, and you got to cheer for the underdogs. But wow, that's quite interesting. That is very interesting. And how much is it for clicks? we'll see.
Oh, maybe quite a bit. Okay. Also, another thing about we'll stick with the Keaton Verhoff conversation in maybe the draft world. Maybe I don't know about. Not gonna say dissing him, but maybe just some interesting things. Did you watch the video that the NHL put out about their central scouting team? It was like a whole behind
I saw
the
there
scenes
was
video.
some controversy. I did see there was something. I didn't actually watch it though. I
So
saw there was
the
a lot
head
of
guy-
issues with
yeah.
McKenna as well. There's a McKenna
Well,
clip that they hated.
They had McKenna at the top. Anyways, he was like kind of like untouchable. Anyways, the thing I wanted to point out, it was just funny. This is just another funny talking point.
Yeah.
Is the head guy that was kind of running the show? It kind of seemed like he was kind of bringing. He was like the middleman that was kind of like talking. He was like, okay, let's hear from this guy who from the WHL. Let's hear from this guy. He initially pronounced Verhoff, and the comments got to him right away. Keaton Verhoof was the first thing he said as the main central scouting guy of the NHL.
That's tough.
Verhoof.
That's and they posted that. How did nobody correct him or even the editor like not realize that that's incorrect?
Oh, I remember watching it. I'm like, this is the central scouting team. Like this. Like, listen, if it was a guy,
that's
like,
so
you
bad.
should know the name of every at least considered first rounder. I'd like at least. And especially a North American,
kidding.
like this is a North American central scouting program. They have their international scouts. They talk to them, but in the boardroom, it was all North American guys. You got to know one of the best Canadians.
And he's been talked about for so long. He's been the captain of Canada for the U17s as well. That's been a year ago or close to a year. So wow, that's tough. That's a tough look. Granted, I don't really care about central scouting. I think it's a little stupid how they lay it out where they have international skaters and North American skaters, so they can't actually give us a number one unless they do, but it's a little frustrating in my opinion. Yeah. But that's interesting, man. Shout out Central Scouting and Butcher and Keaton Verhoff.
Also, maybe another point on that. The international guys were very close to putting Albert Smits over Ivan Stenberg of which international player should go off the board first.
I understand, but it's not. That should never happen. Like, I think there's a reasoning just because of what Smits has done compared to Stenberg, but also you look at national, like the U20s and the Olympics. Stenberg would be in the exact same situation if he's from Latvia. He'd be playing the exact same stuff, right? So, I don't know. It's very interesting.
Okay, well, let's go back. Let's go back to the U18s. I don't even think we announced. You said we were going to get to the captaincy.
I announced two of them when I was going through some of the lines. So Verhoff got the C. Adam Valentini, Valentini, Dima Zhilkin, and Alessandro Diorio are the A's. Mm-hmm. So they go with an extra A. Usually they just do 2 and a C, but sure. I'm very interested, like you mentioned in the last episode, Dima Zhilkin. He gets an A. So you know this guy's a boss when he's still kicking around. Brock Englund, same size as him, gets cut, and he's wearing an A. And he's playing alongside. Who was he playing alongside? I just mentioned it. He's playing alongside Ty Lawrence. So this guy's a boss, man. I mean, I haven't seen him play much, but some of the clips, obviously from the prospect shifts, but. Shout out Dima Zhilkin, and wow, that's a crazy feat, I'd say. Getting an A, an underager. I think actually, did Verhoff have an A last year? He might have. He honestly might have. But Valentini, he's great, and I'm surprised that they go. Like 2 of these guys are going to college right now in their draft year, and in years past, and the USA does this still now. Hockey Canada would veer a little away from these NCAA players and USHL players because they don't like that they're leaving Canada or the CHL to go to the US. But, I mean, it seems like this is obviously, I believe the captain should be a player kind of driven thing. And clearly Hockey Canada didn't get in the way with the NCAA kind of factor that they used to do, right? So,
yeah.
I like Verhoff. I don't obviously know what he does in the locker room or anything like that, but he's a good player. He's definitely, if he's not the best player, he's the second best player on this team. He's probably going to be the defender of the year or defender of the tournament. That's my guess. So, log big minutes and can't go wrong, I guess. At least he can back it up with his play on the ice is what I'm trying to say. I don't know about the locker room, though.
Okay, here's the thing. I just searched up the history of U18's captains. So I just want to go through this. Obviously, Verhoff's a captain this year, and man, he's got some. He's got some. I don't want to say high expectations to live up to, but the last 5 captains of Team Canada at the U18s last year, Braden Coots, who looks like one day is going to be a great NHLer. Year before that, a guy who maybe, do we consider him already a good NHLer? Porter Martone has burst onto the scene. He was the year before that. Year before that, Cam Allen, so maybe a little bit of a dip potentially.
He's still chugging along, though.
He's still chugging along. Yeah, he is. No,
you don't know. He's a defender, right? He's a defender, so it's harder to crack the league.
True. He's in Hershey right now with the Hershey Bears. Year before that, though, Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Year before that, Shane Wright and Mason McTavish. Year before that, Peyton Krebs. So those are all NHL guys, right? Those are guys that will all one day play in the league. So, hey, that's big. That's a big earn of respect there for Keenan Verhoff to get the C on this team due to their history. They kind of had a bit of a slope in the middle of the 2010s. It looks like there's some guys on here I don't really know. Sam Reinhart's on this list though. Back in 2012, he was the captain. Josh Morrissey, by the way, was his assistant in 2012, so that's cool. Ryan O'Reilly in 2008 was the captain of this U18 team. Go back even further. Tyson Jost 1 year with Jacob Chychrun in 2015.
I think the point also can be made with the captains back then is if you were a good player back then, you most likely were carrying your junior team to a Final Four appearance and whatever junior league you're in, right? Where this year or in the past couple of years, not necessarily the best player isn't going to carry their team to a conference final anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess Gavin McKenna did that last year, but granted, he had a great supporting cast. But back then, all those players could be a one-man show on that junior team and just carry them. That's why they're not all at the U18s, right? So that's my guess at least. So
I'm gonna give one more shout out. 2013-14, Roland McEwen, Kingston Frontenac's legend, captain of the team. He was a legend. I gotta give a shout out to Roland McEwen, and he was the captain over Braden Point. So that's fun times. But quick shout out. I just thought it was fun. I just saw this little link, and I was like, let's go through some of these old names of the U18s. This is a legit tournament. These are obviously the showcase best stars coming into Canada.
Yeah,
so
I think this is. My guess is I don't remember watching the U18s back then. I think it's more legit than it was 10 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the competition is, granted, the competition will always be better just the way game grows. But I think there's a lot more names coming out now. And I think it's just better in general. Even the other countries are pulling great names now. So,
yeah. It also seemed like I think there was always more of a gap in between. Of course, we know how the other countries overseas are developing. We've seen it at the World Juniors every single year where they're getting better and better. But I think there's always been a bit more of a gap at the U18s than there's been at the World Juniors. But I think it's starting to catch back up. I'm watching this game right now. It's on the USA Czechia. I mean, Czechia honestly is establishing I could see Czechia being in the conversation one day if they're not already as the third best hockey country. Is that crazy to say? Passing potentially a Sweden or maybe a Russia. I know we haven't seen Russia in a long time because I keep forgetting about them. But they seem like they might be chugging in that direction, Cale. But at least top four, they got to be entering that top four conversation sooner rather than later. I think Finland's still there too. Don't get me wrong. I don't
know. They haven't produced a lot of talent, but it's obviously a smaller country. I don't know what their population is. But you look at obviously the big four for the longest time, excluding Russia, would have been Finland, Sweden, USA, Canada. I think they're real darn close to being just putting themselves in the conversation and just being the five. I think it's getting there. Give it another couple of years and it's going to be the 5 biggest hockey countries and they'll be in it. So
this is still excluding Russia, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know when Russia will be back. It probably won't be for a while.
Yeah.
If Russia's back, the big 5 become the big 3 because Czechia, Finland, Sweden won't participate. So I don't know.
I think Sweden could keep up though. I'm
just saying they won't participate in international competition. That's what it'll be. You won't see them play against Russia in the same competition until it finally dies down, which We still, honestly, it's been forever, so I don't know.
Yeah. Czech Republic population of 10.9 million people. So,
what's that compared to Sweden?
Let's
see. I got it. 10.7, so it's pretty darn close.
Wow. Hey, so that's past though.
It's getting there. Like you look at just at the Olympics and the talent that they produced. They play really well, but when you look at their roster compared to Sweden or Finland's roster, it's not all NHLers, but the Czech league is pretty good. I wonder how many of those players could be a fourth liner on an NHL team, but it's getting there. They're producing more and more, and the way they just play at the juniors and the U18s as well, they're decent, right? So
yeah, I think they could be on the trajectory in 10, 15 years to have that full team of NHLers at the Olympics or any big competition. We've seen it with the talent that they're producing. They're producing big bodies, structured guys that also have a little bit of skill, and that's exactly what you look for in the NHL, right? And also the burst onto the scene of international competition in these younger tournaments for Czechia is just going to allow and make more scouts go over to Czechia to scout this younger talent, right? And see what kind of hidden gems they can find. And that's just going to increase the visibility of Czechia and grow them as a country. By the way, Finland, just want to compare this country to 5.63 million people. That's almost cut in half of the other two nations we looked at. So, hey, the Finns, man, pesky, keep in it. So good for them with only half the population of where they sit. And that's just a long occurring history lesson that hockey's been in their roots for a long time. So
yeah, and you look at like Czechia in late 90s, they had a great representation at the NHL. There's a lot of Czech players. Obviously, Dominik Hasek, the goalie, and Jaromír Jágr were probably the two biggest ones. But they won the 98 Olympics, right? So they won gold, right? So I don't know. It's pretty fascinating. I wouldn't say it's been a drop-off, but looking at their roster back then, there is a good chunk of notable names compared to what you got. Pasternak, Nate Chass. Who else am I thinking? Like, there's not as many. Thomas Hertl. There's not as many notable players. Roman Cervenka, who Flames legend, by the way, could have been a great NHLer, but decided to play in Czechia. Lucas Dostal, who's
maybe.
Yeah, like now we're already starting to pull, right? So I don't know. True. Dan Vladar's in the playoffs. He's got 2 wins.
Dan Vladar is from Czechia, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's their starting goalie of the future.
Now you're scaring me.
No,
he was on the team this year.
Yeah,
he's Czech.
Yeah. I'm not.
I should know that, but yeah, he's Czech. Yeah, I don't know. That's awesome. Well, he was on the team this year. I think.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Did he start? Was it Velmelko is also on the team, and he didn't get a start. So it was. So the storyline for the Czech goalies this year was Velmelko has the most wins, played the most games in the NHL this year, and didn't play a single game. That was the thing. But Dostal was good. Vladar played 1 game, I'm pretty sure. But like you look at Peter Savota, Roman Hamrlik. Roman Hamrlik, first overall pick, mind you.
Jágr could probably still play.
Well, Jágr back then was like he was drafted 8 years. Like he was drafted 8 years ago, so he would have been like 26 years old. That's prime Jaromír Jágr right there. Robert Lang, Robert Reichel, Martin Straka. Like there's a good chunk back then. So I don't know if they would. They've taken a dip in the past, like the late 2000s, 2010s. They took a dip, but they're right back with it. That's my point. Is we're kind of getting off topic from Hockey Canada, but they're getting back. Is what my point kind of was. So
yeah.
But, one other thing that I don't really have much to talk about for roster wise, except Carson Karls of Prince George just recently got knocked out by Penticton. He is not joining the team. He will be not joining the U18 team, which he's eligible for, but decides not to go. What's your thoughts on this? I think we might be on the same page here, but what's your thoughts?
Well, obviously, when you get denied an opportunity to watch Carson Karls with this type of talent, it does suck. But he's getting over a pretty bad, heartbreaking loss. Obviously, he wanted to go far. I watched the post game presser, and he was pretty devastated with he wants to come back to Prince George. He seemed like he might, like, I don't, like, obviously the NCAA rumors are up for every single player, but I just want to say it seems like he's pretty confident that he's going to go back for the Cougars next year. So that's keeping somebody in this nation. That's cool. But honestly, like, it'd be real, especially with the whole conversation leading up to the draft of Keaton Verhoff and Carson Karls, having them both on the same team it'd be really fun for draft talk. But I understand him not going. They have the talent. They have guys to play. They play the power play, to play the PK, obviously grind the deep minutes of 5-on-5, which if he was on the team, he might even have priority over a name like Keaton Verhoff. We started at the World Juniors as well. He would honestly, I think he'd step in and be the number one defenseman on this team over top of the names that are already on this roster. That's how I think Carson Karls is. But I'm not too upset with him not going, to be honest. I think this team will be fine without him.
I don't know what his injury record is. I don't know if he probably has something minor tweaked from the playoffs as well. I mean, I don't know. But I think also he has proved himself this year, and there's not much more to prove. I don't think, even if he shows up and is a dog, which if he shows up, he's going to be showing up late at this point. Like, he just got knocked out 2 days ago. I don't know if he would even get there in time and slot in right away. Like, he's proven himself to be top 5, top 6 pick in the NHL. You can't really bump yourself up if you're not really having the itch to play. And you, like you said, there's already a couple of great defenders on this team. Sure, sit at home, rest, work out, and see what happens at the draft. Because I think he's proved himself. He's bumped himself up. His name is now a very notable name, even since from the juniors, right? He had a great playoffs. I don't think he needs to go. I think he's proved himself, and there's no point. So,
well, hey, think about it. Keaton Verhoff, his stock has only gone down. Ryan Lynn, his stock, I'd say has gone down, but it's been very shaky about where to stabilize in that top 15, potentially maybe top 20, where he should go. Carson Karls, on the other hand, his is only exploded up to where he is right now in the top 5. These guys that are here have something, I'd say, to prove in this upcoming NHL draft. One final push for these NHL scouts. Carson Karls, as you mentioned, doesn't need that at all. He has proven himself on the international stage, the club stage. He's good. So I completely agree with what you just said. And the example of these guys, like, these guys are looking to put a staple on their draft stock. So
yeah, for sure. And once again, like, if he wants to win a gold medal for Canada, he's gonna be like pretty much a lock for next year's World Junior team, assuming he doesn't make unless he doesn't make an NHL club, which I really don't think is gonna happen. But I think he's gonna have that opportunity in the juniors again, and we'll see. He also said he's not even gonna go to the NHL draft. I found a little interesting in that presser. I don't know if that's legit or not. Like, he might still show up, but in the heat of the moment, he said he's not going to the draft. He's just gonna stay at home. Okay. Interesting, but top 5 or 6 pick. Yeah, top 5 or 6 pick, and he's not gonna be at the draft. He might still be there. Like, you never know.
I feel like
they might change his
agent
plans.
might talk him into it. I feel like
like,
it's always
you want
to
make a little bit of money. You probably should go. So
having a good impression on some GMs too. You know, I mean, also the GMs will be at home. I guess I didn't even think about that. They won't even be.
Yeah, it's different
person
this year.
Oh,
it's
okay. Well,
or it's the same as last year. But
thinking on that implication doesn't mean that much to go. I guess in years past, you go, maybe a guy GM really likes you. I've heard GMs talk about I actually got in contact with this guy, went and had a cup of coffee with him and his agent, right? Like, make a good impression on players, and also, you know, vice versa, players having good impressions on GMs. But hey, if they're not in person, the little Zoom call fixes that, and you can do that from the comfort of your home. So I guess really, if that's his decision, then sure. We saw Brady Martin do it, but his was for family reasons. I really liked what he did.
I think, did he not go in the end?
Brady Martin?
Oh, no. He did watch. Okay, no, pardon me.
Yeah,
he
did go and watch.
He was at the house with the big farm, and
15 minutes from where you are. No, somewhere like that.
Yes, sorry. Yes, I got that wrong. Oh man, I cannot. I love the.
I think he regrets
the name. No, I think that's cooler what he did. Honestly. Oh, if Karls goes,
not Brady Martin.
Yeah, Brady Martin's was cool.
No, his is cool.
Karls. I don't know. At this point, I keep forgetting that some players didn't go last year. But if it's the same as last year, what if you fall into the 15? You're going to be sitting there for 2 hours and you're pick 15. Like, that's how bad the draft is. Nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to go to that.
Yeah.
I can't. I love.
Nobody has.
You go ahead.
You go. No, I was going to say nobody has. Yeah.
Oh, God. This is
go.
Zoom. Okay, I'm going.
I'm letting you go.
I was going to say the draft is like such a hard watch. And this year, more than ever, I've been more invested in the prospects and all that. And I don't think I can sit through the 3 hours of the draft, right? I'm just going to probably go to bed at 11 and see the last 20 to 30 picks on Twitter the next day. Like, I cannot stomach through that. It's the longest 4 hours of our lives.
At least the thing is though, you only have to realistically sit through the first 6 picks because that's your guys' the Flames' first 6.
Yeah, but I'm curious, like, what if the Flames will have another first round pick?
Yeah, that's
from Vegas, and then we're gonna have a good chunk of second rounders. So, like, what if we trade up? There's a very high possibility that happens. So, but the thing is, Craig Conroy said that he's got an eye. He's targeted a few, so that probably means he's gonna move up.
Okay.
So.
Well, at least you could trade those picks and your team has the opportunity to move up. My team, I have to wait literally to the final pick of the first round, sit through the entire broadcast to see who the Ottawa Senators will draft at 32nd overall. So I have to sit through it. But hey, I just want to give a big shout out. We were talking about how long this draft was, and maybe it's hard for us at home to sit through and watch the entire draft. What about a guy who sat through the entire draft on day 2 and waited to the second last overall pick to get drafted? Shout out Aiden Park. I wanted to give him a big shout out because he drafted, wasn't even dressed up. He was in his Essentials hoodie and got drafted the second last pick in the building, got to walk up to the front stage, do the whole shaboom by the Edmonton Oilers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I wanted to give him a big shout out. I thought that was funny. I remember watching the broadcast. He said he didn't think he was going to get drafted, but he was over the moon when he did. Just out of the blue, he was there just supporting some of his teammates, and he gets drafted to the NHL. That's awesome. A moment. Yeah, that's a moment.
Awesome. Yeah, initial draft's going to suck, but I think it might be, honestly, like, there's some guys that there's been a lot of talk about people or players that are going to drop in this draft. What if there's players that are poised to drop to the second round? The Sens basically got a free pick at 32nd. Why not just screw it and take somebody that is very exciting but is dropped? Like, what if Ryan Lynn drops his second round? You're going to go and select him 32nd overall.
I think they should. I mean, the Sens have been known in the past of having guys. They're known in the past of having guys that potentially could be drafted later into the draft. I'm thinking obviously Tyler Boucher is the main guy, but that was many years ago. Carter Yakubchuk, maybe he was a bit of a stretch at 7th overall. Logan Hensler didn't mind; he was always in the mix around those numbers. But other than Gabriel Eliasson, if you want to dip down to the second round, like, that's a guy that honestly could have went undrafted.
Yeah, but like my point is this feels. I think the Sens have been operating like they've had this 32nd overall pick for a year now, but, like, at least for me, it feels like house money. Like, it feels like you pay the $1 million, but, like, why not screw it? You weren't expecting to have it. Just screw it and take somebody. Yeah. Worst case scenario, he doesn't pan out, then whatever. You get free money anyways.
What they need is a high octane forward, a guy that has the opportunity. Like, the Sens they're good at developing talent, but they're good at their first overall pick, their first rounders. They've struggled to pick the guys that will be sustainable NHL players one day. Yeah. But as I just mentioned, they've been able to draft some 5th, 6th, and 4th rounders that have developed into NHL players. Like, thinking like a guy like Mark Stone, many moons ago, 6th round pick, is now a captain of the Vegas Golden Knights, came up in the Ottawa system. Drake Batherson, Josh Norris. Just a couple guys to name a few. They're good at doing that, but what they need is they need a hit on a first rounder that's exciting, especially a forward. The Sens don't have a high octane first round forward. Stephen Holiday is their number 1. So I agree. But if there's anybody to drop in this draft, it might be a defenseman, just because how many good ones there is. So that's the other thing.
Adam Valentini will be like, he was supposed to be a first rounder. He's dropped to the second round for projections.
I would love it.
Like, that's the first forward that comes to my mind for dropping, even though I think he's going to probably go to the second round now anyways. So
I would be
I don't know.
the biggest Adam Valentini fan if he gets drafted by the Ottawa Senators at 32nd overall. I've loved his game at Michigan. I would just be over the moon to get a guy like that. Just, oh God, so good in all areas.
Another one, Alessandro Diorio, who we mentioned earlier, has an A. He's supposed to go early second round as well, so probably not as, I think, Valentini, just to what he's done in Michigan and what his skill set compared to Diorio is more cooler, but something like that. So I don't know. Do you have any other U18s before we move on to
the thing
Worlds?
is, it's kind of hard when first game starts in 15 minutes, so not really.
Yeah.
As obviously this time of uploading, we'd already know the score of the first game. Hopefully it's a big W, but lots more to talk about next episode, I'm sure, about the first looks of this roster.
Did we ever talk about Brad Treliving, Jason Spezza, Kyle Dubas being the forefront of this Worlds team? Did we talk about that?
No, I don't, because I would remember a Jason Spezza conversation just because he's my guy. So
yeah.
I don't think we ever did.
So those three have been announced. They are the GM. There's been a couple commitments, a couple people saying they're interested. Really not much news. So, but those three are announced. Jason Spezza's at the forefront with Brad Treliving. Kyle Dubas will be helping out. Probably will be helping out in 5 days from now when the Pens are knocked out of the playoffs. But those two are at the forefront. I don't really have much. I think it's pretty cool that Brad Treliving is all of a sudden calling Morgan Riley and John Tavares.
Yeah, right.
Calling John Tavares. He hasn't actually called Morgan Riley apparently, but calling former players of him that they were playing for him 3 months ago. So I think that's awesome. I think that's cool. I wish they recorded those. Like, that would have been awesome. I would love to see John Tavares' reaction when his phone lights up with Brad Treliving. So, you know what? Jason Spezza might have called John Tavares at that point, but
yeah, probably. I don't respect. Know. Yeah,
but it's pretty interesting. Jason Spezza putting his foot in the door once again. I mean, he's been the AHL GM for Pittsburgh for a while. I like that for him. I'm assuming he's probably gunning, like he's doing this. I'm assuming he's gunning for a position at the 2030 Olympics, right? So
absolutely is, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll have a position by then. Just that's my guess. But does this? Very curious about Brad Treliving doing it. I don't really see the point in it, but hey, support your country. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's retiring after this. So I think that's a little interesting tidbit that he's helping out. But I don't really have any thoughts.
I would like to see Jason Spezza get an opportunity as the lone GM of a team. He's obviously, we know he's going to be one of the GMs with Brad Treliving, and for the first time potentially in his career, obviously in the AHL, he's the lone GM, but he is not. I remember his first few years as GM with the Leafs, and then he went over to Pittsburgh. He was kind of the associate, whatever you want to call it, Kyle Dubas.
Yeah,
so finally, the first time in his career, he has a spot over Kyle Dubas. Because what does Kyle Dubas to this team? Is he a higher up? Like, what is his official role?
I don't know. It just says on the Instagram post or the Twitter post that he's just helping out.
Yeah, I've seen the name. And you know what? It's a good guy to help out. He was last year's GM. This guy has been around Team Canada. Obviously, I believe he was in the mix of the last couple international competitions as well. Like
he was a part of the 2026 Olympics as well.
Yes, that's what I thought. So listen, I think Jason Spezza, like he's obviously played the game for a long time at a high level, dipped immediately into the management role and the management world in the NHL. Like, this guy he's going to be a name that's going to be around Team Canada and the NHL for a while. Like, he looks like he's really gunning. He's going from position to position. He's proving himself right now in Scranton for Pittsburgh, for the Pittsburgh AHL team. Hey, just signed Malik McGowan. Obviously, that's our guy. So he's got good vision that wise. But hey, and I will always stick by Jason Spezza. He is my favorite NHL player of all time. So as a Sens guy, so I always will love Jason Spezza. I just have so much love for the guy. So I'm over the moon that he is going to be managing this Team Canada team. And hey, they haven't won gold since 2023. So if he brings a gold for Team Canada, obviously maybe Brad gets back in the NHL, maybe with a win.
I don't know.
But more likely, which I would like, Jason Spezza should get some looks for some teams around the league. So,
yeah, I mean, that would be a big loss if he does. Big loss for Pittsburgh, but I mean,
true. But like, how good? Like, if he's the AHL GM right now, right? Like, if he's doing all these different roles, it's gonna create some. It's gonna create some motion around his name. There's only so long he can be an AHL GM, and unless Pittsburgh's got a spot for him up in the real team, then why not Spezza go on his own? You know, he's been with Dubas, as I mentioned, for a while now. How much more? I don't want to call it babysitting. Does he need before he steps up for a real job? Right.
Sure.
So
For sure. Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts. I want to get into some of the commits. I only have 5, and then there's 3 that are interested, which I think one of them for sure is not going to go anyways. If you have any other commits that you see, chime in. But these are the 5 that I've seen. There's a couple that said they're interested, but they haven't actually been committed. Like, they haven't actually got the official phone call. Okay. John Tavares, Ryan O'Reilly, Mark Scheifele, Robert Thomas, and Gabe Vilardi are the 5 that are the only 5 I have seen. And then we go to 3 players that are interested. Morgan Riley, who I thought was committed, he's not. Actually, he's just interested. Matthew Schaefer said he's interested, and Matt Barzal is interested.
Yes.
So I think all 3 of them will get a spot if they actually 100% are all in. I think when they say they're interested, they probably haven't made the decision themselves, and they probably haven't. They probably have gotten a phone call, but I think at this point, my guess is that they are thinking themselves. First of all, I don't think Matthew Schaefer should go, but I think Matt Barzal and Morgan Riley should definitely go, especially Morgan Riley. Gosh, let's get another washed-up defender that's 34 years old on the team. That's what the worlds are about, right? So. Matt Barzal would be very interesting.
Sorry, I would. That's okay. I would really like to see Matt Barzal on this team. I feel like, obviously, you know, the Islanders have been watched a bit more than previous years due to the resurgence of Matthew Schaefer kind of giving a kickstart to that team. But hey, Matt Barzal he's got an insane amount of talent, and I don't think enough eyes have been around him in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, he's so. You look at him and you wonder how he hasn't scored 40 goals in a year, like for the past 5 years. Like, it's just the way he plays. He drives. I mean, not as much this year because Schaefer's also been in the mix, but the past couple of years in the Islanders, he's been the one driving the play, and he's just super fast. And you just think he would just chop up some of these washed-up European players. So, I don't know. I think that'd be really fun if he does go. But sorry to cut you off. I don't know what we're going to say there.
I think there's one name that I think has, I don't want to say confirmed, but I think are pretty confident about going to the World Championship that I don't think you mentioned. I don't know if you said Ryan O'Reilly of the Nashville
I did say
Predators.
Ryan O'Reilly, but
Okay, you did? Okay. I didn't. Okay.
I might have missed him, but I have him on my list at least. But
okay, cool. Because I say John Tavares, Mark Scheifele, Robert Thomas, Ryan O'Reilly, and Gabe Vilardi. Think I meant, okay. Those 5 are confirmed. Hey, Gabe Vilardi, Kingston legend. So just want to put that out there.
I know.
Most notable Kingston guy. Born too. Not just Frontenacs. Born in Kingston too. Shout out the Fronts.
Another piece to note. I think Celebrini said he was interested too, but I know Misa said he's not going. So that's unfortunate. One of my players is not going. But oh well. As your camera falls once again.
Yes.
But funny. I would have loved to see Michael Misa, but whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned something that just made my camera fall because I was like, wow, we have to bring this up on the podcast. Yeah. You mentioned the name Macklin Celebrini, and man, this guy is having a good time in Beantown, man.
Jeez.
Have you seen these recent social media pictures and videos are awesome. When was the last time we saw a kid of this skill level come to the NHL, blow it up, and then in the offseason just be a kid again? 19 years old and he's doing cake stands upside down. What a beauty this guy is. Like, seriously, this is generational stuff. He's showing character and he's blowing up the NHL. Like, this guy is just a beauty. The word beauty is the word that just pops into my head for Macklin Celebrini, man. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, I saw there's a lot of comments saying he's underage because there was one video of him drinking. But no, it's pretty cool. So, I think Will Smith is probably there too, right? Because Will Smith is from Boston too. Well, they also were they both played college there too. So I think it's pretty cool. But I mean, awesome. I mean, I haven't really paid attention. I've been in basically NHL playoffs mode, so I haven't really focus much on the other stuff. But yeah, I saw that.
I just saw it on social media. It was like, dude, he had the jersey on backwards, just looked like a 19-year-old kid. And I think that when he does all this stuff in the NHL, people forget that he's just a kid. Right?
Yeah.
And you don't expect stuff to happen like this because you don't see it in the media every single day. Mm-hmm. But just what a beauty. I loved it for Macklin Celebrini. He deserves it too, man. He had a heck of a season. The thing is, if this was a guy that maybe scored, I don't know, 30 points or something like that as a first rounder or first overall pick, pardon me, and he's doing this in the offseason, dude, the controversy that would be coming at him would be astronomical. Like people would be hating, like, man, you're not performing at the level you should. You know, the Sharks took you first overall and you're doing this. But no, scores 115 points. People don't give two craps what you do. It's awesome. I love it. I just, the fact that he's so skillful when he's doing this, just being a kid, it's awesome. So,
one other player that I just quickly researched, Dylan DeMello of the Jets also has committed. He's official. So, another washed up 30-year-old guy. So, shout out.
Yeah, shout out. True.
I want to see, I don't know when the rosters will come out, but I'd love to see who else is on this team. Right now, in my opinion, unless Schaefer gets in, like, it's going to be a tough watch. I don't really want to watch these guys in May. So
I don't know about that. I don't know if you should say.
I don't want to watch John Tavares. I mean, Ryan O'Reilly's fun because he scored 40 goals this year, but
Robert Thomas, Mark Scheifele.
But like, they're all, I know what they can do. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
fun.
we've seen what they can do in the NHL.
Those are some cool names. Like, who's going to... Dude, that's 4 centers right there. Tavares, Scheifele, Thomas, O'Reilly. How is that going to work? Who's going to play center? Who's going to move to the wing? Like, I think it's going to be fun. Like, these are good NHL players. They are easily above average
but
in the NHL.
I want to see some random kids just slot in there. Because I don't know what those guys can do compared to where John Tavares is going to be a point a game. Ryan O'Reilly is going to have... 12 points in 10 games. Like, Mark Scheifele is going to be the 1C and just dominate. Robert Thomas is going to be close to a point a game. Like, I know what these guys can do. That's the thing. But, oh well. It'll still be fun. Canada is going to have, like, it's not going to be the same as last year either, but, like, they've got a good roster, so.
Yeah. Has there been any USA commits at all? Have you seen that at all?
I haven't really seen many. I haven't seen any at all.
I'm gonna see if I can find something.
Devin Cooley is gonna go.
I
know that one off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I haven't seen any other US commits. I'm pretty sure Will Smith said he's not going. I wonder what Matty Beniers will be doing. Ooh, I wonder what Matty Beniers will be doing as my mic falls. But he was on the team last year, I'm pretty sure. But there's a good chunk. Like, Tage Thompson was a big, he had the golden goal, for Christ's sakes. He's in the playoffs right now. So, you look at some of those players.
Yeah.
But he's also was on the Olympics. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
I have 2 committed. And hey, you might like these ones. First one is Oliver Moore of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Okay, that's a good one.
The other one, I think this one's going to be right up your alley. Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, 2 younger guys.
I wonder maybe well, if that's the only 2 people that have committed, maybe a cheeky little Chase Reed would be fun. What the fudge?
Cheeky little Chase Reed.
Yeah.
Is he not at the he's not at the
he's too
teams
old.
this year, no? Oh, is he too old? Okay.
Fix my
I
mic.
guess. Yeah, I'm the old. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, USA is probably going to be crappy if those are the only 2 guys that committed, but at least those are 2 fun names for sure. And Devin Cooley.
Yeah, Devin Cooley, yeah. You're kidding. Maybe backstop a gold medal team, maybe?
Maybe who would be fun in the States as we're doing a Canadian podcast here? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Who would be fun at... You know
I think for sure Matty Beniers would be top tier. I'd want to see him go again. Let's see, who was drafted high last year?
I think I'd like to see Utah be eliminated, and I'd like to see Logan Cooley go.
Was he there last year? Logan Cooley was so good. He's been great, though. He's been the best player in that series so far.
Fantastic, yeah, absolutely.
So,
but maybe a little cheeky Dylan Gunther, though, for Team Canada.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That would be fun.
Young, fun guys for both teams, right? So
yeah. Maybe if Utah does get knocked out, I think this isn't really, he's an older player, but in my heart, he's still young. Clayton Keller's had a horrible series. Maybe he goes and redeems himself. That would be my next thought process. Maybe he'd go because he's been horrible. But I don't know. Well, he's also in the Olympics, though, so that's been a long year.
True.
So I don't know. Cole Caulfield. I'm just pulling random names that will not go at this point. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Maybe Spencer Knight of the Blackhawks. Fun. See him go. He's great in the World Juniors. He might have been there before as well, but
but does he get the net over Cooley?
Devin Cooley is pretty good right now, so I don't know. But they had split. There's 10 games. He'll play at least 3, so I don't know.
That's true.
All right, that's all I got for Worlds. Let's do some P-Dub, and then we'll wrap up with some NHL. So last night, as of Tuesday night, we saw... we talked about it before we started recording. Vancouver beat Montreal, so they are now leading the gold plan or whatever. 3 points. Seattle's got 1, and Montreal could have clinched first place in the regular season, which they do not now because they lost to Vancouver. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for Montreal because now they're leaving it up to that Saturday slot where all 8 teams play. And, well, it also comes down to, I think Boston plays tonight, Wednesday night. So
they do.
The picture could be a little more clear after tonight. And then Toronto, they played New York. That was a massive game last night as well. New York needed to win in regulation to stay alive. And unfortunately, they push it to OT, so they're knocked out. But Toronto, they're still right there. They need the points. They lose. They lose to a New York Sirens team that loses in OT, or that pushes it to OT, and they're knocked out. That's tough for Toronto.
I don't understand a game where you're chasing Ottawa, and at the time, like, both teams have 2 games to play. Toronto's playing their second last game of the season. Ottawa still has 2 more to play. As of when this is uploaded, they'd both be at 29 games. We still don't know the result of that game for Ottawa against Boston tonight as of time of recording. But hey, like the Scepters, dude, this is like you're at the end of the season. It's a must-win game. You're playing a Sirens team. It is right behind you at home. But as you mentioned, with that overtime, does that immediately, like, no win or loss, that eliminates them, correct? Like, this is
Sirens,
just a game. Yes. This is a game you have to have. You're at home, and even just looking at the 3 stars, didn't watch the game. I was watching the NHL playoffs.
Well, it was 0-0. Like, it was 1-0 in OT. Like, it wasn't a fun game. I'd flip between them, but, like, after a while, it was just got boring because there wasn't crazy amount of chances or anything like that.
This looks like Kirk in net for the Toronto Scepters, dude. 32 saves on 33 shots. Had a phenomenal night. Second star named of the game. If your goalie's the second star and you lose, you just my gosh, you gotta find a way. In a must-win game and you score not a single goal on home ice, that is just, you can't have that. You can't win a hockey game like that. It is just, I don't know. I don't even have words to describe it. Just 21 shot, 33 to 21 were the shots on goal for New York. Like, that's not a playoff team. You got to find a way to win those games down the stretch. It's just tough. I don't have words to describe it. And like, you lose sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, you could also make the point, New York, since they were eliminated, they could get the points for the goal plan. That doesn't actually come into effect until after the game. It's like New York had nothing to play for in this game when it hit OT, and they lost. I mean, OT can go either way, but still. Yeah, it's tough.
Even just looking at the shot charts, like, did not a whole lot generated towards the around the crease anyways. It looked like New York just around the circles dominated a lot on the outside for Toronto, and obviously they couldn't find a single goal, so nothing was working for them as well. Kaylee Osborne, hey, gotta get a shout out for her. Kept the shutout. Her team, unfortunately, not going to make the playoffs this year, but hey, that extra point, if they would have won in overtime, would have kept them tied with Ottawa. And if Ottawa loses tonight, then that would have made a big game for Saturday as these 2 teams face off against each other. Hey, it's still probably gearing up to be a big game unless Ottawa wins tonight and clinches the playoffs. So.
Yeah, so looking at that, so Ottawa, if they win tonight they have to win in regulation, they clinch. If they don't win in regulation, then everything's open for the playoff, or for the playoff picture on Saturday for those 2. It's going to come down basically Toronto's got more regulation wins, so I believe if they end up in a tie, Toronto will be the one that moves on. So there's a lot of possibilities, but if Ottawa pushes it to OT, I think it's pretty much a lock. I think Toronto will have to win in regulation by the looks of it, depending on what happens tonight. But that's pretty much the situation, I would think. But, well, I mean, it depends. Depends what Ottawa does tonight. But we'll see.
It's not like Boston doesn't have anything to play for. They're playing for potentially trying to win out the entire league, right? So,
yes. Well, if
that's
they
who Ottawa
win
plays tonight. So
yeah, if Boston wins, they're actually now leading the pack. They'll be a point up on Montreal. So
it keeps them alive.
Fascinating.
They have to in order. So I hate saying they have to win tonight because by the time this is uploaded, the game will already be over. But on Wednesday, if they have to win in order to give themselves an opportunity to win.
Well, even if they lose tonight, they still have a chance of Montreal lose.
Sorry,
who does Montreal Boston play? Is it Montreal Boston on?
No.
Oh no, it's New York, Boston, Montreal, Seattle.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna come down to Saturday anyways. But Montreal could have clinched. If Boston wins, it helps them in case one of these games go past regulation. So, but I don't know. It's fascinating. Saturday's going to be fun. I think the big game is obviously the 2 p.m. Toronto-Ottawa TD place.
It easily is, yes.
So that'll be fun, which is unfortunate because it's it's up against the Sens playoff game. I think that's at 3 p.m. that day. So
at home. Oh, yeah. Both games at home in Ottawa.
That's tough. We'll see how much TD plays can actually pack up, but that'll be fun. It'll be a fun game.
Maybe it depends on what the series. If it's 3-0, or it's 2-1 going into game 4 for Ottawa. So
good point. I think we both know what it will be, but
hey, wait.
We'll get there.
All I'm saying. The record when Jacob Ewing's in the building for a Sens playoff game is 0-0 right now. Could be the game changer. Could be the game changer up in the 300s. Can I change the game in the series? We'll see. We'll get to that more when we talk about the NHL playoffs. But let's wrap up this P-Dub.
Yeah, P-Dub will be fun. I'm curious to see what the Ottawa-Boston game will look like tonight. I guess, Minnesota's now out of the hunt. They can't get it. So Minnesota will be which is fine. They already clinched a spot, whatever. They figured if they're not going to get first, then whatever.
But that just means, listen, don't have home ice, and they have to play the second seed, which will either be Montreal or Boston. I mean, if there's any team to go face that adversity, it's probably Minnesota just because their playoff experience. But
I don't think they've ever won the regular season either. Right? In the past 2 years, they won.
I don't know if they have either, but they were the 4th seed last year. So
I think I think Minnesota's fine. I think it's more fascinating. Seattle wins now; they're back on top in the gold plan or whatever for Caroline Harvey. But yeah, it's interesting stuff in the P-Dub, and we will. I'm assuming we'll touch on it on our Monday episode after those games are done. There's a lot of stuff to get over on Monday as well as we slowly slowly peel back on the True North Ice podcast. But we'll get to that on Monday. We'll talk about all the playoff matchups. Too. I wonder when they announce who they play, like when the top seed will pick who they play. But that'll be interesting too. We'll do I guess we'll do a full on playoff preview if we can on Monday. So that's all I got for P-Dub. Do you want to move on to NHL?
Yes, brother. Let's do it.
I want to do, just because the Sens haters that we had in the comments a couple episodes ago, since their attention span is already that bad, let's do the Sens first, even though they haven't made it this far, but let's do it first, just in case their attention span went a little longer today.
Yeah, I don't know if they've made it to this point in the episode,
they didn't.
But let's do it anyways.
I want to get it over and done with. We talked a little. Did we talk about OT a little bit? We'll get to it.
I don't think we.
I want to do, because there's been 2 games. We haven't talked about the first game, and we're already going to disagree on this. But to start the playoffs, start the series, to start the game 1, Kachuk, what are we doing, man? Why are we fighting?
So first of all, I think we did talk about game 1. I think we did
briefly last episode, but it wasn't. We didn't talk about the fight. The fight was stupid. Right?
The fight was interesting. I get what he's trying to do. It also takes out Jordan Staal. He plays a big role.
But that's a horrible trade. Jordan Staal is a 3C compared to Brady Tkachuk being top 6 or winger that can throw the body.
I'm also trying to think of maybe line matchup wise, maybe it played a point. They both starting. Maybe Travis Green wants to kind of throw a little fork in the road to try to, that throws off both teams. Well, Brady Tkachuk's obviously not a center, but that Jordan Stahl's a center on that line, right? So maybe it's something to do with that, but it's a little interesting. Of course, Kev, I understand.
That's a bad trade off, and then also
just trying to set the tone, I guess. That's
But
Brady.
like the thing is, like, you set the tone. That fight doesn't set the tone. Like, if you're not setting, if your team is not ready for game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, then you're going to be screwed no matter what. Fight won't do that. You know what would
I wouldn't
do
say
it?
they weren't ready. I don't think that fight
then what was
to
the
get
point
the
of
team
it?
ready.
What was the point of it?
I don't have an explanation for that.
It was stupid. It was corny.
Okay.
It was. I don't understand what he was thinking.
Can we also?
Yeah,
It's maybe not. Maybe what? Who says it was Brady Tkachuk's idea and it wasn't?
Well, then why did he
Jordan
accept
Stahl's
it?
idea?
Because first of all, Jordan Stahl barely fights.
If Jordan Stahl, like a captain and a longtime NHL player who still plays a significant role on the number 1 seed in the East, challenges our captain, the Sens captain, Brady.
You say
Tkachuk,
no.
Like, that's a fight. That's a fight you could take. Brady's not going to say no. That automatically shows fear in the series. Automatically, it's not like it's a nobody. It's not like it's a nobody.
I don't think there's footage of who said it. I actually didn't watch it, but Brady Tkachuk cannot take a fight against Jordan Stahl to start the playoffs. Like, you're the away team too, so the line matching just gets easier for Carolina in those first 5 minutes. I know it wasn't. It didn't play a factor.
I would say not necessarily.
Well, they have the last change and
yeah, but the thing is, even I'd say if you have all 3 of your centers on available, that just makes it easier, right? Now you have to shift. Maybe don't get the matchup. You can't throw out Jordan Stahl's line because he's not the center's not there. You know what I mean? Brady Tkachuk's just a winger, right?
Sure,
Pinto,
but still,
I think that actually benefits the Sens line matchup wise.
I don't know. Well, the other thing too. First of all, I really don't think Carolina ever would have expected Jordan Stahl, of all players, to fight, who barely fights in the NHL, to fight in the playoffs, and they see that, they're going to be more pumped up than the Sens would be. Just so you know, and it's at home. So, like, if anything, it pumped up the Canes more. I don't know who asked or whatever, but Brady Tkachuk shouldn't be taking that fight. And he lost in the end. Like, he was the one on the ground. So, it's a tough look. It's a tough look, man. So, I don't know. But you know what could have pumped up the Sens? Is if the puck dropped, Brady Tkachuk has a crazy forecheck and just pummels a guy in the neutral zone or something like that and just lays somebody out. That is what gets your team pumped up more than a fight, in my opinion.
Oh, I don't know.
I think yes. First minute of the playoffs and you lay somebody out, that is setting the tone. Not a fight.
No, true. I mean, I think a fight does. Listen, as guys who don't play the game, I think a fight does more to the bench than we both think.
I don't think so. I think it's laying somebody out.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying laying somebody out doesn't.
I think your captain laying somebody out is bigger than, like, I think if he laid out Jordan Stahl in the neutral zone or something like that, I think that is bigger than a fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And people are going to disagree, but like,
I'll agree with that.
But like, I know people disagree, but like, I think that's just the way it is, especially to start the playoffs. Maybe if there's a fight after a scrum, maybe it's different, but like, this was off the opening draw, right? So,
and also maybe just another point that just popped in my head, like Brady won't fight for the rest of the series. And people expect him, especially not this season. I think he only totaled 3 fights, including that one against Jordan Stahl, through the entire season. But maybe in the years past, Brady was the only guy who would step up to take a fight. Maybe he's just trying to showcase, like, listen, this is the only time I'm going to drop the gloves. We're going to get done and over with. Game 1, puck drop. Showing that he is like, just because he doesn't take a fight in the middle of a series when people think he should, that he just doesn't want to. He does want to, but he's going to do it right now, right here. Set the tone, physicality that he is here, and he's going to hound you every single second. Get it out of the way. And so when a game 4 situation with 5 minutes left, he's not, pestered to take a fight because he hasn't taken one the entire series. You know what I mean? That just popped in my head right now.
He doesn't have to take a fight in the series,
no,
does he?
But people have expectations on him to step up and take it for the Sens, which shouldn't be the case, but it is, because he's gained that reputation as a guy that's not afraid to drop the gloves, right? So I think maybe that's another factor.
Yeah, I mean, I read some tweets. I don't think, like, even I don't think many Sens fans were happy about it. Let's move off.
I was kind of neutral on it. Like, it's still, I don't know. I didn't have a crazy sway one way or the other. Of course, I was pumped up, screaming at that TV, like just pumping myself up. But hey, let's move on from that because that's one fight to start the entire playoffs. Let's stay on the Sens.
Let's
series.
actually talk about the games. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You go first, and I'll give my opinions after.
All right. You know what? Going into the playoffs, it was a conversation if the Sens want Buffalo or they want Carolina. Majority of Sens community was saying, let's go Carolina. I think majority of it was because we were high on the fact that we had a great second half of the season, which the Sens did, as well as that second round matchup seems on paper a lot easier than it was compared to the Atlantic side of the bracket. Get Carolina, and I think the Sens kind of were blind to and maybe it's because Carolina Hurricanes hockey is kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it's kind of like Sens hockey, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a team you say, oh, I want to watch a good game, let me watch the Carolina Hurricanes, which they play a great style of hockey. They're high scoring, they're high forechecking, but it's very structured. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Anyways, like the Carolina, that's a team that's won 7 first rounds in a row, right? That's a team that understands what it means to play playoff hockey. Their forecheck is relentless. Their decor loves to pinch. They're insanely intense. There's no room on the ice at all. Their man-on-man coverage in the defensive zone just hounds you down, and the Sens weren't able to find a single, honestly, good scoring chance. Well, first of all, the finishing capability has been terrible, but that was more or less in the last three and a half periods into game 2 and then into that overtime. But the first 4 periods, including the entire game 1 and the first period, the Sens really had nothing at all. They didn't score a goal, first of all, but second of all, just finding that open ice opportunities and even getting the matchups. Like we talked about the Pinto line all year being so successful, and also you had the Tim Stützle line and the Dylan Cousins line all up there in like when you look at money puck statistics, lines that have been very successful are honestly all top 15 lines in the league, but they were just outmatched. They were almost second every puck, losing puck battles. And just, I think, honestly, the playoff experience of the Carolina Hurricanes came out firing on all cylinders, and they were on, and even physically, even the physicality, just they out-physicaled Ottawa in that first 4 periods as well, just grinding them down, throwing the body. It was hard, and Frederik Andersen played phenomenally, and we'll touch on Linus Ullmark because he deserves a whole segment to himself. And more on the Pinto line with 2 guys who have honestly been some of the best defensive players in the entire league with Shane Pinto and Michael Amadio. Like, they've been on the ice for 3 or 4 goals out of only the 5 goals that Carolina has scored. And there's been 2 power play goals, but they've been matched up against the Stankoven line, which going into this series, I think most Sens fans wanted that matchup just because the Stankoven line with Taylor Hall, 2 guys, and also Jackson Blake, fast guys, skilled guys, and honestly, the other lines match up. I like the Dylan Cousins line against the Jordan Staal line just because bigger matchup, more physical. Brady's on that line too. But yeah, the Pinto line has been grinded down by this line. They have got every single piece of it. And Rob Brindamore has really liked that matchup, but it's worked out. So we'll see what the Sens can do going into that home ice advantage and having that last change. But the line that we've leaned on all season long has not been able to shut down as they did in the regular season here in the playoffs. So, right. But hey, I didn't touch on really the last 3.5 periods because the Sens really picked it up in that second half of game 2, Caleb. They were able to find those open areas on the offensive zone. They were able to transition the puck better. In that first period of the second of game 2, they could not, for the life of them, even game 1, they could not transition the puck through the neutral zone. Everything was getting shut down. It was either an icing call or someone would get stood up and hit or someone would just get stick checked and it would all of a sudden end up in a Carolina jersey. But no, the Sens were finally able to break through in the neutral zone to either get the stretch passes were hitting. They were able to get some dump and chase going, get the forecheck established, and able to create chances in the offensive zone. I thought the Sens were the better team in that second period and on in game 2. But obviously, we know in the playoffs, it comes down to finishing moments. Game 2, 5 posts hit for Ottawa, 0 for Carolina. And that's the difference of the game right there. If you're not able to finish your high grade A scoring chances, I believe the Sens, Tim Stützle had 4 grade A scoring chances alone. And that's not just my statistics. That is Hockey Logic's statistics. Didn't finish a single one. 2 breakaways, chance in tight. And unfortunately, that's what it comes down to. Not being able to finish in the playoffs. And all it took, as we know, in overtime was 1 goal to do it all. Sens had their looks, couldn't find it, go back home down by 2. So,
yeah, I think, well, the line matching in Stankoven's line, I think in general has just been good. Doesn't really matter on the fly who they're matched up with. But, like, it's tough for Ottawa. Like, I don't know. I guess you put the Stützle line and you match up, like, when they've got the last change, you match up Stützle with Stankoven, even though you probably, I don't know if you want to go top line on top line, but, like, there's a lot of, like, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for Travis Green because, I mean, you got 3 great lines, but your third line you've really relied on your third line to be a good defensive shutdown line with an offensive spark. And when they're not doing either, it's been a tough watch. I don't know who they match up.
Although I just want to mention something. I know you're sorry to cut you off. I know you're talking about the third line. The only thing I just want to add is that the Sens actually did make a change in Game 2, and it really started to work, especially in the later half of that game, where they moved Warren Foegele to that third line and moved Nick Cousins down. I thought when they made that change, that line looked much better. And honestly, Warren Foegele,
you mean the other way around? They bumped Nick Cousins up.
I think
Nick Cousins
they moved
on the fourth line.
Yeah, Nick Cousins was on that third line with Michael Amadio and Shane Pinto for Game 1 and the first period of Game 2. But no, he was bumped down. Warren Foegele gets bumped up to that third line, and honestly, it looked 10 times better. Warren Foegele is made for the playoffs. Obviously, he's made the playoffs every single year of his career. Big addition, and he's proving that he's here for playoff hockey. I liked it a lot better. I just want to put that into the point
for sure.
that the Sens made that change. So,
yeah, I think, well, if we look at the overall series and the structure, and we talked about it when we did the preview, these two teams are very similar. 2 structured teams, same structure, follow it, plug and play, whatever. When you have the top 2 teams like this, I think it's very hard for you to win games when you are playing the exact same structure as the other team and you're not as good at it. I think that's a point where, and the only way you can break out of it is if your stars find a break, something like that, and finish and score. Or special teams, which obviously the Sens power play hasn't been good.
Terrible.
So it's already hard. You're already making it hard enough by when it comes down to 5-on-5 play and your structured play, and you're not the better team. It's hard for you to win games. It's hard for you to score, right? Mm-hmm. And that's basically what it's come down to. And I think that's something we didn't really put enough emphasis on, is that it's going to come down to the power play at this point. It's probably going to be a special teams kind of series, the end of way through. And when you're down 2-0 now, you're at home. We'll see what Game 3 is. A lot of people are very optimistic. I read the Instagram comments on the Sens Game 2 loss post or whatever. A lot of optimistic people, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But we'll see what they could do Game 3, but we'll see what the matchups look like, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, especially if the 5-on-5 play, you're on that a lot and you're not scoring the power play. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. And I'd like to see Brady Tkachuk do more. I think Tim Stützle's been all around it, but he hasn't actually scored. He's at the post a couple times.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, but you got those players to come back. And the biggest issue, and this is the outlier, is when the best player in the series is Linus Ullmark, there is an issue with your play. That's the point. That proves how bad the Sens are playing.
I've heard this a lot, and it's very true. If you would have told Sens fans that Linus Ullmark would have had the best goals saved above expected and also a .930 save percentage within the first 2 games, and you'd come back to Ottawa down 2, I would have called you an idiot. But that's exactly what the situation we're in right now. Linus Ullmark, mind you, Frederik Andersen has also probably been the second best goalie potentially in the playoffs. These two are going neck and neck for best performer in the playoffs probably so far. They've both been fantastic. It's been a goaltender series, to be honest. But Linus Ullmark has just been so phenomenal, man. I've known it for so long, but his glove hand, Oh my goodness, you can't get anything by this guy on the left side of him for the life if your life depended on it. He is flashing the leather every chance he gets, and you can see when he's in flow state, the only way to beat him is if, honestly, Carolina on the power play, quick one in front, not his fault, and then the game winner with Big Jordan Staal right in front of him, blocking the eyesight, no chance. If this guy can see the puck, which the Sens did an all right job, especially in Game 2, especially because the Carolina Hurricanes had a lot of shots, they're pretty much, it's almost 100% expected that Linus Ullmark makes a save. That's what type of flow state he's in right now. So you can't, no questions for Linus at all, which was probably one of the biggest questions coming into the series. But as you mentioned, power play definitely needs to get going. You have to score at least one power play goal in this series, especially to beat a structured team like the Carolina Hurricanes. But honestly, the way it's going right now, they can't even establish any pressure when they have the power play. It's getting shut down every single time at the blue line. It really has the courtesy of that Hurricanes forecheck, and that they're very tightly pressured. They're one of those teams that doesn't like to skate back. Their defensemen are not afraid to pinch at all, cut you off, and shoot it all the way down the ice. So Sens got to find a way to especially establish ozone time when on the power play. But I still think if there's one story for the Sens, it's finishing your chances. I called at the beginning of this episode that game was an emotional roller coaster because it was. Because I don't know how many times I first of all, I was standing up for the whole entire overtime. There was no sitting. I was almost sweating.
Through both overtimes.
Oh, I was standing the whole entire time right in front of my TV. There was a couple times where I was like, oh man, I just couldn't do it. And obviously, we didn't even touch on the whole situation in overtime, too. That was...
No, we'll get there. Yeah.
That's a very creative thing that we'll touch on. It very interesting, I guess. But, yeah, man. The Sens, you got to finish. It's the playoffs. You get these situations. You have to be able to put the puck in the back of the net, and they just haven't been able to. If they can finish on their chances, which they should have done in Game 2 and should be coming back to Ottawa 1-1 in the series, there's a chance they can make this happen. It's going to be hard against the best team in the East, but there's a chance. So
yeah, I think the Sens are definitely playing against themselves, but we got to give credit to the Hurricanes. They've been unbelievable. Yes. This is Carolina Hurricanes playoff hockey. This is what they do, and they do not make many mistakes, and they allow the other team, when they make a mistake, they're going to make them pay. And it's been tough for I know the Sens have had a couple chances. The one chance in Game 1. Anderson in the glove. It wasn't in, but it was pretty darn close. And a gazillion shots at the post in Game 2. And but in the end, it's been a pretty, you look at the scores, they're pretty darn close. Obviously, one went to OT, the other one was 2-0 or 3-0, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0, sorry. Close scoring games, but in the end, it just feels like Carolina, just the way the Sens are playing, Carolina's got it pretty darn close to locked up already. So we'll see. I think Ottawa's got some momentum because they played much better after that fluke of a Drake Batherson goal goes in the second period, and they get their first one.
Both goals were flukes.
Yeah,
both goals were very fluky.
They looked much better after they scored. As your camera falls again, they looked much better after Drake Batherson scored. It looked like they're moving their skates. They picked up the pace of play a little bit. And in the end, they find another goal, a little bit of a fluke as well. And we'll see. OT was more back and forth, but we'll see what they can do in Game 3 at the home ice. So
gotta win it.
Yeah,
have to win it.
Let's do the OT real quick. I it's a great situation, but it's also very stupid in my opinion. Like the offside happened 30 to 40 seconds before the goal went in.
Maybe longer.
Maybe even longer. Yeah. So really we had to call it back, and it took. And for somebody watching at home, I understood what was going on, and I also had Twitter opens, or I had Twitter, so people were already cluing me in or letting everyone know. But if you're in the stadium or in the arena, or you're just a casual fan who's just watching the game, you're screwed. You don't know what's happening. The challenge didn't happen until 5 minutes after the goal came in or scored. You got people cheering, you got people leaving the arena. All this, 5 minutes later, the challenge, the process needs to be picked up. I know I'm pretty sure every OT goal and third period goal is reviewed by the NHL anyways. But why was it not the first thing that the refs did? You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't understand.
Is every goal reviewed?
Yes, it is. At least in the playoffs, it is in OT and the third period. I'm pretty sure.
So the Sens still had the challenge, though. No, like, 'cause it was
No,
a
I
Sens
don't think they had a
challenge that called it back. I think they did. And
No,
I
it was.
believe
I'm pretty
was.
sure it's the league. The league looks over it.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it says it's offside. The Sens have to challenge, but when it maybe that's what it does. But like goaltender interference for sure, the NHL looks at it themselves.
Because I remember
because I guess the linesman was the one that looked at the offside.
Yeah,
So.
true. Hey, big shout out to Mike King. I've been on him all year. The best video coach in the NHL, video coach of the Ottawa Senators, video coach of gold medalist Team USA as well. Mike King is, of course, you don't lose many offside calls. Hasn't lost a single one all year for Ottawa. He's been clutch. Was clutch there. But Caleb, I think the more fascinating part about it was they're in the zone, cycling around for a little bit. Carolina, they get a break. They're going to break in tight. Warren Fogle hooks Jordan Martinook, and referee's hand goes in the air. Okay? Play continues. Obviously, they score. Bench clears, everything, the whole hurrah. You just explained it, how it took a while. Called, no goal, offside, right? But there's a penalty. Hand up in the air. You think maybe we're expecting a hooking call, whatever. Carolina's go to the power play. Jordan Martinook has been assessed a penalty shot in overtime after the Canes just thought they won it. Couple factors here. First of all, when there's a penalty shot being called, is it not most of the time called right away and whistled down? I heard some rumblings on that. People were a little bit upset about that.
No, if Carolina still has possession.
Okay, I agree with that. I just didn't know what your take was on it, and I saw some different takes here and there.
Oh, I don't know exactly what the ruling is, but I'm pretty sure if Carolina still has possession, they could still play it out, and then if they score, they score. If they don't, then it's a penalty shot. Okay. But most of the times when it's a penalty, when it's a breakaway, and you get tripped up and lose the puck, usually the goalie has it or the defending player finds it first.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So. And then the other controversy, I don't know, call it controversy, but conversation was goal gets called back for offside. And normally that would bring the clock back to when the offside occurred, right? Which was before the penalty shot call. Would that not negate the penalty that happened in the offensive zone because the offside occurred before the penalty?
No, I think the rule is no. It's just you play it out, and if there's penalties after the offside, you play it out, and that's what it is. Like you can't just kill a guy and not get away with it because it was offside. You know what I mean? Like you can't just bring out
offside initially. No,
you can't just you cannot just decide to whack your stick into somebody's head and then say, "Oh, it doesn't count because it's offside." No, you're suspended for 20 games, and you're probably never seeing the NHL again.
Well, you know what I mean? I think suspensions are different because those are looked to outside.
But it's different though. It's pretty much the same. It's still an infraction.
I agree. I just thought that was interesting too. Because
most of the time
they erase that time frame, right, as if it never happened.
Yeah. But I mean, sure. And the other thing is the time doesn't really matter. It's an OT as well. Like
exactly true.
The game ends when the game ends when somebody scores.
But still, they go back to when that offset occurred, right? So technically, that is deleted anyway.
Sure, but you can't just erase what happened though. Is my point.
I just wanted to bring it up. I thought it was a good talking point. I saw some conversation around it. Not an occurrence you see every day in the NHL, that's for sure. Jordan Martinook gets a chance to win it on the penalty shot, and Linus Ullmark stands tall once again. Man, I'll tell you, in this situation, the Canes score, I'm pissed. I take off the jersey, I hang it up. I have them hung up on the wall at the house. I sit back down, just trying to decompress a little bit. Still, flares are going high, though, as I watch the Canes celebrate. Then everything happens. Slowly but surely, penalty, obviously, the challenge gets called. Slowly but surely, creep back over to the jersey. Take it off the wall, put it back on. Gets called no goal. It's on for sure. We put it back on. Then the penalty shot gets called, man. My emotions were going up and down. It was insane. My girlfriend, who was at the house with me at the time, she couldn't take it anymore. She went and laid down. She wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. I was pretty amped up, so it was a time for sure. But yeah, the Sens, amen. I don't know how the Sens stayed alive. I remember just yelling, "How the hell are we alive right now? How the hell are we alive?" So
yeah, it's interesting. But then in the end, our boy Jordan Martinook scores anyways.
Back,
so
man.
I think that's pretty cool. And I mean, the penalty shot, I think that's the best case scenario for the Sens, is you lose an OT and now they only get a penalty shot instead of a power play.
Absolutely.
Players are now it's 0-6. Players were 0-5 heading into that on the penalty shot in overtime in the playoffs. So
yeah,
pretty fascinating stuff. But
with the way Allmark was playing too, absolutely. You want a one-on-one compared to with
and it's Jordan Martinook.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to with Carolina having a 5-on-4 in overtime where they can really open up Allmark, which is the way they've beat him, either in tight or just cross crease, which most of the time, honestly, cross crease. Allmark has shut them down this series. But you'd rather a one-on-one there, absolutely. Yeah, but hey, poetry, people are calling it for Jordan Martinook. Finishes it off after he had the opportunity to win it. I call it ridiculous because the Sens should have won it before that. But hey, couple posts. Michael Amanio, I thought he won it, man. In tight, flutters, tips off the glove of Frederick Anderson off the crossbar. Tim Stützle has, in the first overtime, has the whole left side of the net open, can't squeak by. It looks like it was a stick by Jankowski behind him that just allows him to hit the post. Sens had their opportunities, no finish. And one more thing about this series before we wrap up. Matthew Tkachuk attends a game, trying to repay his dues. What are your thoughts on him going to Carolina compared to Ottawa?
Well, Carolina's closer to home, and he has a newborn baby. So
yes,
I don't expect him to fly. I don't think he's going to fly out to Ottawa, but I think he said he's only going to attend one game. But no kidding, he'd go to Carolina. First of all, he's way closer to home, and does he want to show face in Ottawa right now?
I think Sens fans would appreciate it, to be honest.
I think he would want to. But I just don't think he can because he's got a child. So I don't know. I think that's what it is at this point. I don't really care. My guess is if the Sens do somehow move on, he will be in Ottawa for round 2. I guarantee you. There's got to be.
I would like to see him in Ottawa.
He'll show face.
I like the support Brady had was so massive. He went above and beyond, to be honest. So I didn't see Matthew repay that. No, he did. He did going to Carolina. So
yeah, it is a little funny that he's up hiding in the back of the rink as well, compared to where Brady was in literally the thick of it.
Double beers. Double beers standing up. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one picture when the Flames were on that playoff run with him just in the middle of red jerseys and some Stars jerseys. He was in Dallas as well, I'm pretty sure. Just with beers and everything. Matthew didn't do that, but I understand. Really, you shouldn't have an NHL play, especially now more than ever. You shouldn't be in the middle of a crowd. So, yeah. But I think it's good that he showed up. But
absolutely, yeah. Hey, also get the Mrs. Tkachuk a new scarf. She has the old logo on her scarf. I think the Sens need to hook her up with a current.
Well, she knows that the new logo sucks. So
she's got a 3D logo. Need to change that. I think her name's Chantel.
I like the 3D logo compared to the new one, but
yeah, so do I. I'm a big 3. I like the 3D logo too, but come on now.
Yeah.
Let's get her a new one.
Yeah. Let's do quickly Oilers Ducks. Only one game has happened. The next game is happening tonight as we record, so only game 1 thoughts. Granted, I watched this one on mute because I cannot watch Jack Michaels and Louis DeBrusque.
Insane.
And what's the other game that rivals it? It's what other game was on at the time? It was Monday. What was the other late night? Whatever. The other late night game, I love Bob Wischusen and Eric Johnson, so I had to listen to that.
Oh.
It was probably Stars. Was it Stars?
It was Colorado. Was it Colorado?
Colorado played last night.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, they played last night.
Was it Dallas?
Oh, no, Dallas was on the
Saturday.
Oh, no, it was Dallas.
Saturday,
it was Dallas.
Monday,
No, it was Dallas. Yes, yes,
so
yes.
I was watching Dallas. Yeah, it was Stars Wild. And yeah, I had to watch that. I cannot watch the Oilers is on the small screen for me. The big screen has audio, so I didn't really watch it much. I think it was the last game of the night though, so I did watch the third period. I really did think the Ducks might have had it. But Ducks might have had it after the second intermission. I don't have much thoughts on the game because I didn't watch much of it. But Connor Ingram looked okay. He did the job. The Ducks look the Ducks could do something. It's just the issue is that this is the game they needed to win. Connor McDavid doesn't have a point. First time all season, no way there's a win without McDavid having a point. Yeah, this is the game they should have had, and we'll see. Carlson looked good. Terry scored twice. They look like playoff players, which is something we weren't sure about. Can Carlson hold up in the playoffs? Yes, he can. Troy Terry looked okay. I was okay with Seneca. I think he was fine. Gauthier was but they looked fine. And as Joe Quenneville, they're gonna be ready for anything. So
yeah,
I don't have much thoughts. I just can't stand Jack Michaels. So
yeah, and you know what? As you mentioned, this is the same time as the Sens Thriller. So like,
yeah, there's
honest,
3 games on at the night. Yeah,
I was obviously I was fully logged. I didn't give 2 craps about the score of this game. I tuned in. It was on because it just transitioned after the game to this game.
Yeah,
it was on. I was pretty done with watching hockey at that point. I watched the ending to it where they ended up scoring and winning, so that was cool. But I didn't really capture too much of this game. I think shut up for the Ducks though, man. Like Edmonton comes out and honestly take a 2-0 lead, right? I mean, for a team that's been back-to-back cups, like that's pretty commanding. I think people were like, okay, well, this is going to be pretty light, which maybe people expected coming into the series. But hey, the Ducks come back out. Was to start in the second period. They scored 3 straight goals. Yeah. Like, geez, like good for them. Like they just come out firing on all cylinders, like showing that they are here to play. And close game. It comes down to 1 goal. Kasperi Kapanen with the winner. Yeah. So yeah, no,
it's one game. Like it's hard to analyze just one game for a whole series, but yeah, we'll see what they can do tonight. I'm not cheering for them, Flames fan, obviously, so hopefully the Ducks can pull it out. But yeah, it's fast paced and the Ducks are keeping up, so I don't mind it. And the Oilers' depth somehow just decides to score 4 goals, so shout out. And then the last Canadian series, we're not going to touch on all the series. We're just going to do the 3 Canadian series. Bolts and Habs, it's been great so far.
Wow.
Both going to
series,
overtime. Tampa, in my opinion, hasn't played up to what they have been in the regular season during stretches. It really only looked like Tampa found their stride in that overtime last night. Again, like game 2 overtime. Looked like the shots were 9-0 at home. They finally score, and that's what the Lightning are going to do, and it's going to come down to, hey, the Habs split. It's going to come down to can the Habs stop that at the Bell Center?
I think so. If there's one thing that's kept the Habs in this series, it's not like they played good hockey, but it's their power play.
Oh,
It's been the X factor. Their power play has been fantastic. Obviously, touch on Slavkovsky having was it 3 power play goals. We have the power play hat trick with the OT winner in game 1, but like that has been the difference maker. But they've scored how many goals now? Was it 4 in the first game, 2 in this game, 6 altogether, and they've scored 3 or 4 on the power play. Like if we have a disciplined Tampa Bay team here, which honestly the trajectory of this series where we're seeing line brawls half the time, especially early on in the games, they're gonna that's gonna enforce Montreal power plays. If it continues, like Montreal is gonna have a real advantage, especially at home at the Bell Center. But yeah, I agree with you. That overtime kind of really showed what Tampa Bay hockey we expect to see. It was kind of just line after line, forecheck. Montreal had no room to breathe, couldn't get it out of their own end. It was relentless from Tampa, and we didn't see that in the first 2 games. Honestly, the first 2 games, because we saw it in overtime come alive. But it was good for Montreal to win one, but I think a lot of it was because of the power play. And honestly, you expect maybe Cole Caulfield to be a big factor on that power play, but hasn't still made his mark on this series. But he hasn't had to, because guys like Slavkovsky have stepped up, a guy we've been kind of knowing that he was made for playoff hockey, and especially in the big time moments with his performances at the Olympics. He has stepped up big, and Lane Hudson's played some huge minutes as well. I think he's kind of
scored
tucked away the haters of he's too small, can't play a playoff brand of hockey. Man, he's such a good skater that he definitely can transition the puck very well in these tight playoff series. So hey, as it goes on, we're going to see even more physicality. I think my favorite moment of the series so far was Brandon Hagel just one punch knocking out Slavkovsky onto the ground. just the height difference doesn't matter. Oh, I was fired up for that. I love Brandon Hagel. He's had an incredible series as well with a couple tucks. But that was awesome. I love that kill. What was your thoughts on that? Just the one punch from Hagel.
And the celly at the end as well. It's pretty cool, but
it was fired up, man. Just oh my god,
it was pretty cool. But
yeah,
I mean, you're at home, you got to do something. You got to do something like that, and for sure, go for it. A few other things on the Habs here: 5-on-5. The power play is great. A 5-on-5, so Suzuki, Caulfield, Slafkovsky. It needs to be better. That's they've been pretty much like they haven't gotten anything generated 5-on-5. They've been matched up with McDonough and Chernak, which that's a tough pairing to play against, but they got to figure it out. Hopefully at home they can get some more favorable matchups with the last change, but that's got to pick up. And then, man, I love Kirby Dach, but he's never going to see another playoff game in his life. The poor guy. He could have skated like 3 more strides and just flipped the puck in, but instead he decides to ice the puck. Lightning win the draw, and he kind of gets interfered with by Kucherov. Puts his arm up, then the skater Moser just goes around him anyways, and he scores. So it's tough for Kirby Dach. I don't think he's going to play Game 3. My guess is it's probably Veleno. Gallagher hasn't played either, but I don't know if Gallagher is what the move is for Kirby Dach at this point. But that's a tough look.
Yeah.
Tough look for
you know
Kirby
what?
Dach.
Especially with the Habs, I don't want to call them, they're not a one-line team, but honestly, sometimes offensively they are. That line is just so good. They depend on that line for big offense, and they've scored majority of the goals in the series. Obviously, I touched on the power play, which has been their biggest factor. But, hey, back at home ice, they're going to get the matchups they want. They can deploy that line where they want on the ice and against two. I think it's gonna be a big swing. And obviously, if they win both, put Lightning on the edge with still another home game at the Bell Center at Game 6 potentially. If Tampa Bay splits, favors the Lightning 2-2 with 2 home games.
Yes, probably
for Tampa Bay. So
yeah, that's a tough look for Kirby Dach. But hey, I mean, you just can't do that, man. I think it would have been interesting if they called a timeout after that icing, but they didn't. The Habs, so. Lightning just load up. They put Kucherov's line and Moser Radish on the D pairing, and they just it was bound to happen. The shots were 8-0 at that point. They're gonna score. So
hey, shout out for
great
JJ
series
Moser too. Turned into prime Cale Makar in that play too. That was so nice. Who expected that from Moser in overtime? Man, takes it, goes for a little skate. Obviously got the pick plate from Kucherov, and then what a rip, man! What a shot from JJ Moser. Just was a bar down. No chance for Jakub Dobich too. Who's had a great series. He's been really good. But yeah, hey, 1-1 going back to the Bell Center. Probably good situation for Montreal. I think a very good situation.
For sure. They would take the split any day of the week. That's for sure. They definitely would want that 1-1 split after those Lightning games. But it's tough because they had them on the ropes. It was an OT. They were up by a goal in the third period. It would have been nice to be up 2-0, right? But
yeah. Hey, but you could also say that it also could be 2-0 with back-to-back overtime games going back to the Bell Center as well for Tampa Bay.
Sure, that's a good point.
So
that's a good point. Good point. So
both games were very close, right? So it's nice to have one. Hey, Kel, any final thoughts on this amazing NHL playoffs? Maybe I'll do a recap quickly on the series, what we're looking at. Colorado up 2-0 versus the Kings. Philadelphia 2-0 back-to-back wins on the road against Pittsburgh. Both of us taking Pittsburgh in 5 or 6, but hey, apparently it doesn't matter.
Crosby
1-0
sucks,
Edmonton.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out Travis Sanheim. Maybe the best defender in the NHL right now.
Hey, Poirier Marteau, maybe the best player in the NHL right now. Yeah. Stars Wild 1-1, Sabres Bruins 1-1, Hurricanes Sens 2-1 Carolina,
2-0.
2-0 Avalanche.
You said 2-1 for.
Oh,
Carolina.
did I? Oh, okay. Yeah,
nice try, 2-0.
I didn't. No, I actually didn't mean to do that at all. 2-0 Carolina. It's gonna be 2-1. Hopefully after tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Here we go. 2-0 Colorado over the Kings. 1-1 Lightning Canadians. 1-1 Golden Knights Mammoth. And I don't think I'm missing anything else.
Yeah, I could probably do another hour on this, but we're gonna save everyone's time and sake. We're gonna wrap her up, but. It's been fun. All these series have been good. The Kings one is but shout out, they've done their job. And the Wild Stars one has been very interesting, but all these series have been great.
I've been
the
loving
Utah game last night was
say,
awesome.
I've been loving the Utah Vegas series. That's been my favorite so far. I love watching those fast youngins of the Mammoth. Just honestly, like the tight forecheck and the tight defense, like the Golden Knights play a very high press type of game, but the speed of the Mammoth has been able to score some big goals. So
I've been glad that Sportsnet picked up that American series because, man, I hate the ESPN. Almost every ESPN broadcast except the Bob Wischusen, Eric Johnson broadcasts have been horrible. I'm glad that we got Hunter Ryan Singh and John Garrett for that series because they've been great. But it's been listenable, which is awesome. So shout out Sportsnet.
I like the ESPN broadcast, so I just want to put that out there.
You like them?
I like them. I love their commentators.
Which one? Hold on. Which ones? Let's get this. East or West? East or West? Let's sort this out.
East or West. Okay, first of all, not all the series are being held by ESPN. Is that correct? Like
yes, they all are.
Sportsnet. They all are. Okay, listen.
Yeah,
I like.
But it's only like ESPN is half the series now. TNT picks up the back half now, which is great. But ESPN has been horrible in my opinion.
Bruins Sabres, Ray Ferraro, great.
Yeah, but it's
Pittsburgh Flyers, Ray Ferraro. Also, I don't know the name of the play-by-play guy for the Bruins Sabres series. I just know he does the Little League baseball. He does the Little League World Series. So I got love for that. So shout out that.
Even the
I like personally. I should know the names of these guys, but I love them all. I think they all do a great job. Personally, they all have fantastic voices.
No, well, I disagree. I don't like John Butchergross at all. Let me see here. I'm trying to pull up who it was. I'm grateful. Sportsnet has been way better than the ESPN ones. First of all, the audio mixing has been terrible. Have you not seen that? The person
it has been terrible. I can agree with that.
They shouldn't be touching the crowd audio at all. But whoever's doing it is also drunk. Like, I don't understand what they could possibly be doing. They're moving it up and down mid-play. Like, there's no point to do that. It's pathetic.
I could agree with that.
Like, especially the biggest one is the Buffalo comeback in Game 1 when the game winner when they took the lead. They cut. He says score and the audio is great, and then they cut it immediately and have is it Butchergross or is it it's Monaco. Kelly Monaco.
John Butchergross, yeah.
John Butchergross sucks. Thank gosh he's on the Canadians and the Sens games so we can watch the Sportsnet. But like, they're all horrible, man. Like, Butchergross is terrible. The audio mixing's terrible. The only two good series is the Kings Avalanche and the Stars Wild when you've got Bob Wischusen, which it's crazy.
I don't know. I think
those
like
guys
Mike
are great,
Monaco.
but
he's been good. That's the guy.
Mike, not Kelly. That's his name. Mike Monagle. Sorry. I don't really like. I like Ray Ferraro, but other than that, like, it's been tough. It's been tough.
I think I might be on the flip side. And also, maybe it's because it's not that I love the Sportsnet broadcast as well, but I think it's a change. Like, I like watching the I don't know. It just maybe it's just me, but I'm a fan of the ESPN broadcast and the personalities they have on there. So
I'm not only that West Wing, but shout out. Like, even Gary Galley's been good. I don't know I know you don't like him, but like, even this series, I haven't watched much of Gary Galley, but like, he's been good. They've been good. Who's he with? He's with John Bartlett.
Yeah,
they've been really good. I think they've done a good job. Did you see John Butchergross's call on Ullmark's power play or penalty shot stop? Oh, you got to.
Oh, well, that's why I haven't heard any because he's doing the Sens Carolina.
I know.
Series.
Well, just if you like John Butchergross, look up that call after we're done recording. Look it up, and you will hate him after it. Okay. And then, like, sports has been great.
Yeah. If we want to keep talking about I hate talking about I don't want to criticize any reporters or anything like that, but have you heard there's been some conversations about Leah Hextall online?
Yeah, that was brutal. That's been one of the worst things, too.
There's two of them. I heard there's the Tage Thompson bit where he said like Buffalo's been all of you known, but he was drafted by St. Louis, played 41 games in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Before he was traded over. There was another one. I don't know if you know it, but I think it was circulating online as well. Oh gosh.
Yeah, there was two. There was another bad one. I can't remember what it was, but she's had two really bad.
Oh, I got it. It was Scott Lawton's first time in the playoffs.
Oh,
despite
yes.
him
He's been in the playoffs like 3
playoff
times.
games before. Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. I don't know what she used to be a play-by-play person. Remember that? Remember those days? Early ESPN. Yeah, it's ESPN's trash. We'll see what TNT can do. I'm a little upset that those guys in the West don't get TNT games because they're a great listen. Eric Johnson, first time doing it, has been unbelievable. And the fact that he's like, it's so interesting, and just gonna pull from ESPN and TNT Sportsnet should definitely be trying to pull for players that just retired because he's getting a gazillion interviews. No other person down on the ice is getting interviews like that. He's getting interviews mid-period from these players.
That's what boosts my likeness towards ESPN a lot. I love, like we talk about Ray, just a guy who's so respected in the industry, but Eric Johnson has done a fantastic job. Guy who's drafted first overall, Stanley Cup champion. Like, these guys have the utmost respect for him, and he, as you mentioned, he's getting, like, the players are giving the utmost respect to him, giving him the time to talk to players. It's been fantastic. That's a big reason why I love these ESPN broadcasts. But
it's only that one. The rest suck. But like, he got an interview with Mikko Rantanen walking to the dressing room before the game.
A former
There's
teammate.
No way. I know, but like,
yeah.
But like, Mikko Rantanen would never ever do that to any other person. I know it's a former teammate, but like, Mikko Rantanen would not do that with Ray Ferraro, with Leah Hexel, anybody like that. Just it's insane. I don't think so. There's no way that even Mikko Rantanen doesn't even know who Ray Ferraro is. I guarantee you, there's no way.
You're telling me that Mikko Rantanen never played the mid 2010s NHL games and heard Ray Ferraro on the call.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, there's no way.
Mikko Rantanen was definitely playing shell back in the day.
Finnish guy, definitely. Like, I don't think so. But shout out Eric Johnson. Shout out Chris Cuthbert's been great with. I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Sorry. And the Gary Galley series has been good. Can't listen to Jack Michaels, but Hunter Ryan Singh on the Utah Vegas game with John Garrett has been great as well. So that's all I got. Shout out Sportsnet. Suck at ESPN. Did you see ESPN had some games not available on the app, their ESPN Plus app?
Really? No, I did not.
That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. So,
okay,
like, when a game goes to overtime, they're screwed.
You go. You keep on.
When a game goes to overtime, they're putting games on ESPN News and ESPNU.
I didn't see that yet.
And you can't get those on the app.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a video of Mikko Rantanen playing NHL, and he beats Gabriel Landeskog 4-0 in NHL 22. Meaning that Mikko Rantanen would have to have prior experience playing NHL, meaning he knows Ray Ferraro.
But does he actually know that's Ray Ferraro talking?
Yeah, it does. Of course. Mike Emmerich. Doesn't Mike Emmerich do the calls with Ray Ferraro back in those games?
Probably, yeah.
Before it was Eddie Olchuk?
Yeah, I don't know. But, yeah. TNT will be interesting. We'll see. I like their panels better, even though I'm not a big...
the
Paul isn't that guy, but I don't really watch panels
Henrik
anymore.
Lundqvist?
They all suck. Yeah. Lundqvist. I like their host as well. I don't know his name, but I don't like PK Subban or Mark Messier.
What about the host, the ESPN host?
No, I don't like him either. Well, it's also tough because you're working with Mark Messier and PK Subban, two polar opposites. It's hard to be a host for both of them. But
also, immediate thoughts on PK Subban's
pants.
Outfits? Yeah, pants.
That was. Yeah, it's so weird. He's a weird guy, but I mean, people like him, so I understand why he's employed. But and I understand why he's getting the minutes. But
he's a personality. He might actually. Would you call him the biggest NHL former player personality? Maybe Paul Bissonnette, but
probably Paul Bissonnette. Even though I don't like either of them.
Years.
True, but so is Paul Bissonnette. No.
Yeah, but he's only picked up as of recently.
I guess
the casuals would know PK Subban. I don't
think you could look at like. I guess TSN has Jeff O'Neill, or even Like he's a pretty big personality, but that's Lonely Leafs. I don't think there's anybody bigger. But PK Subban doesn't do much outside of TV. Whereas like Paul Bissonnette does TV, podcasts, and other things. So I don't know. Maybe it's going to be, well, even like you think, well, Ray Ferraro does color and does does podcasts and all that. So
I think today's generation, though, he is a commentator and not a player, which is
Ray Ferraro.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Ray Ferraro does everything too. He's
a legend.
He's literally got local games for Vancouver, and then he works for ESPN.
Right. Going back and forth between two series now.
Yeah, exactly. There's only a few of them doing that, and he's one of them.
I think he's the only one. He might be the only one doing that in the series.
Eric Johnson and Bob Wischusen and that host is doing it too. They're doing Colorado,
Steve
Dallas.
Levy, by the way, is the ESPN host.
Okay.
I think I like Steve Levy. He's doesn't really.
I don't really watch panels. None of them really bring anything, anyways. So, if there's anything good, they pop up on Twitter. So, that's basically how I watch the panels if I want to. So, all right, let's wrap this up.
All right, Cal. Listen, we went touching on a lot of different ideas today. I think we're reaching the 2 hour mark. Yeah,
we
getting
are
around there. Good podcast. It's always
just
good
be
time.
under 2 hours, but yeah.
Wow, look at that. Man, we went all the way around it. U18s are on literally right now. It's 0-0 after the first period. Obviously, time of upload, you guys will know the end of the score against Slovakia. Maybe the score of tomorrow's game as well. But hey, that will do it for us here today at the True North Ice Podcast. Remember, you can follow us on all your favorite social medias, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, because we're uploading daily short-form content on all your favorite news from Team Canada. And as always, we are a podcast. You can listen to us on all your favorite podcast platforms, including
Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, YouTube Music, YouTube, Good Pods, Astro, Podcast Addict, and many, many more. Yes.
So if you said iHeartRadio, that's amazing. So listen, if you're not going to go listen to another podcast of ours, make sure you enjoy some incredible hockey today, as there's hockey on every single day, whether it's the U18s for Team Canada or it's the NHL Playoffs or the PWHL, which is gearing up for the playoffs. As always, I've been Jacob Ewing. He's been Caleb Snyder. We've been the True North Ice Podcast, and we'll talk to you very soon.